our kind of company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, Northern Sugar Cane Farmers Association unite in call for industry reforms amid industry crisis. The Belize Teachers Union announces voting results on government's proposal. BEL responds to Cane Farmers Association proposed electricity tariff hike, warning of consumer burden. And Belize advances public transit modernization with the renovations and new bus terminals. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight for a newscast for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
I welcome you to the graduation of our first cohort, as well as the launch of our second cohort of the project entitled Increasing Economic Power for Micro-Entrepreneurs.
Through this bilateral collaboration, the Women's Empowerment Project over the past 4 years, we have witnessed numerous women entrepreneurs making significant strides and fulfilling their potential. There are so many inspiring stories that encourage us to continue doing this.
We can celebrate 74 women that will graduate from round 1 of our ministry's Increasing Economic Power for Micro-Entrepreneurs project, and at the same time we're welcoming an additional 60 women entrepreneurs who will participate in round 2. To the women here today, you are the brains, you are the hearts and the hands of this initiative, and you are the reason why we are here. Let this be a reminder that your voice matters, that your work matters, and that your economic empowerment is a national priority.
Good evening. With your newscast, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Jaden Gamis. The cane farmers belonging to the 4 Cane Farmer Association in Northern Belize are speaking out as the sugar industry continues to face one of its most challenging periods in recent memory. While the millers and government officials have recently outlined their perspectives and proposed strategies to move the industry forward, this week the farmers made sure that their voices were heard. The 4 major cane farmer associations, including the Belize Sugar Cane Farmer Association, the Corozal Sugar Cane Producers Association, the Progressive Sugar Cane Producers Association, and the Northern Sugar Growers Association, met to address the deepening crisis. Following their discussions, the associations issued a joint declaration highlighting 3 key resolutions surrounding area of molasses, the local price of domestic sugar, and the electricity generation from bagasse. The proposed considerations, according to the joint release, are being made based on recommendations presented in the Commission of Inquiry report. As it relates to molasses, the association proposed that the local price of molasses C be increased by 1.5 times and molasses B by 2 times the current export price. The proceeds from these increases, according to the associations, would be allocated directly to a cane sustainability fund. Additionally, the association proposed a levy of $5 per liter of absolute alcohol produced from molasses, or a levy of $7.50 per liter of absolute alcohol produced from molasses. On the local price of sugarcane, both plantation, white and brown, the association are asking that any authorized increase be appointed to see 65% of the increase directed to the cane sustainability fund, and the remaining 35% be distributed to the existing commercial agreements of 65 to 35. Lastly, on the bagash, the recommendation is that electricity tariffs per kilowatt hour for energy sold to BEL be increased by 5.5 cents, with the resulting additional revenues credited directly to a green fund designed to support sugarcane producers in critical sustainability areas. The joint declaration sends a strong message of unity among cane farmers, which has not always been the case with the industry in other times of crisis. As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, one of the 3 declarations made by the joint cane farmer associations as part of their response to the ongoing sugar crisis is an increase on the electricity tariff per kilowatt hour for energy sold to BEL. The chairman of Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, Andrew Marshalek, in a sit-down with the media today, responded that the declaration made by cane farmers associations. According to BEL, the proposed price hike is unjustified and will ultimately burden consumers. BEL maintains that, based on current market conditions, the cost of electricity from Belcogen should be going down, not up. Any increase, according to the chairman, would ultimately be passed on to Belizean households and businesses, and thus would need to be carefully looked at.
From our perspective, the cost of that plant is recovered, so the price should be moving in the opposite direction. It shouldn't be that there's any basis, any scope for thinking that the price should be going up when the cost of the plant is already recovered.
That's interesting. And the total wattage is 10 megawatts still.
There are policy considerations here. If it is decided that it's in the best interest of society that repairs subsidize cane farmers by making paying a higher price than otherwise could be warranted, then we as a society can decide that, and we can do that. There's nothing wrong with it. But you recognize what it is you're doing. There's no entitlement to it. You're asking us, the rest of society, to make a sacrifice, to make that resources available to you. And there may be very good reasons for doing that, social reasons and other reasons. But let us discuss it in that context, not in the context of the value of the service, the actual value of the service being offered.
The government or the millers are yet to comment on the joint declaration made by the associations at this time. In a recent communique issued to its members, the Belize National Teachers Union, the BNTU, revealed the outcome of the vote regarding the government's latest offer, which is 4.5% salary adjustment effective October 1st, 2025. First frozen increment on April 1st, 2026, the 4% salary adjustment on October 1st, 2026, and the second frozen increment on April 1st, 2027. The voting concluded this morning at 9 a.m., with a significantly majority expressing support for the proposal. According to the union's memo, an impressive 75.04% of participating members endorsed the salary increase proposed by the government. Additionally, members responded to a second question which asked about their commitment to continuing industrial action through the BNTU and the NTUCB to pursue broader systemic and constitutional reforms. These reforms include income tax adjustments, comprehensive job classifications and compensation reforms, anti-corruption initiatives, and enhanced accountability laws. An overwhelming 86.79% affirmed their dedication to participating in such actions. The memo states, "It is therefore concluded from these results that the majority of the BNTU membership has accepted the government's third proposal. With this mandate, we are obliged to inform both the government of Belize and the public of this outcome." Following the vote, all three unions, including the Public Service Union, the APSSM, and the BNTU, have agreed to accept the government's latest proposal. Notably, the unions initially demanded an 8.5% salary increase when negotiations began 2 months ago. The recent vote signifies their collective approval of the government's current offer. Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, is once again calling for a sustainable path forward as the company continues to operate at a loss amid rising costs and stagnant energy tariffs. In a sit-down with the media today, BEL Chairman Andrew Marshallek confirmed that the utility provider has formally requested a review of the current electricity purchase price and billing system. According to BEL, the current price stands at 40 cents per kilowatt hour, KHW, for power, but the company is proposing an increase to 43 cents per kilowatt hour starting January 2026, or alternatively, the introduction of a dynamic pricing model that betters and reflects real-time market conditions.
The reason for the request, total cost of electricity being supplied to consumers are and have been exceeding the price that we charge consumers for that electricity. The result is sustained losses on the part of BEL. Immediately after COVID, we are taking the position that we can carry those losses for a time and allow consumers a time for recovery from the ill effects of COVID. And we have carried those costs for a time. But those costs cannot be carried indefinitely by BEL, as you can expect. If you're incurring those types of losses consistently and over a sustained period, the burden becomes increasingly more and more heavy until it eventually becomes unbearable. Well, it's nearing that point. So it necessitated that we make a request for adjustment in rates to cover that shortfall. The plan originally was for renewable energy sources to be brought online and to introduce had been done years ago.
Dynamic pricing, according to Marshallek, would allow electricity rates to fluctuate based on the time of day, the supply availability, and the real-time market demand, an approach used in many modern energy markets.
Yes, and what that called is a dynamic pricing model. There are different ways of doing it, and we offer that as an alternative to the PUC.
The proposal, according to Marshallek, would require much education as well as infrastructure development across the country.
We need an infrastructure that provides consumers with the information they need to make good decisions.
The formal request has been made to the PUC. However, Marshallek confirmed that more information is expected to be provided before a determination can be made. Coming up next, high-profile rape case against attorney Orson Erlington advances in court. Stay tuned.
Hola, ¿estás en tu teléfono móvil ahora mismo, navegando las redes sociales, escuchando la radio o viendo televisión? ¿Alguna vez te has detenido a pensar qué es lo que le da energía a mi dispositivo? La electricidad es esencial para nuestra vida diaria, dando energía a nuestros hogares, negocios, transporte y por supuesto esa serie que no puedes dejar de ver. Pero, ¿cómo funciona todo esto? En esta temporada de What's and Whys of Energy, te llevamos detrás de cámaras, hablando con nuestros expertos y trayéndote novedades y respuestas a tus preguntas más importantes sobre la energía. Mi nombre es Emanuel Pech y te invito a acompañarnos en vivo por Facebook y prepárate para ver la energía desde una nueva perspectiva. Dale like, comparte y síguenos para ser parte de la conversación.
Belize Electricity Limited, providing you safe and reliable power when you need it.
At Centaur, we believe that keeping up with technology is just the beginning. What really matters is the care and support we provide every step of the way. Our commitment to exceptional customer service means you never have to wait long for help. You're not just a number, you're part of the family. Fast speeds, reliable connections, and the support you deserve. Because with Centaur, your connection is our commitment. For more information, give us a call at 380-0101.
The ongoing legal saga involving attorney Urson Ellington took another step forward today as he appeared before Justice Nigel Pilgrim for a case management session in his high-profile rape trial. Ellington, who consistently maintains his innocence, was accompanied by his legal team, which includes his father, Hubert Ellington, along with attorneys Norman Rodriguez and Michelle Trapp. The defense team has challenged certain evidence, specifically arguing that some of the material presented constitutes hearsay. Despite this, the case will proceed with further written submissions and a hearing scheduled for September. The defense is expected to file a formal objections regarding the alleged hearsay evidence by July 18th, after which the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, will have until August 5th to respond. The court will then address the admissibility of evidence and other evidentiary matters at the upcoming session. Ellington, who has consistently denied any contact with the complainant, insists that an interaction was consensual. Notably, he will not be presenting an alibi in his defense during this phase of proceedings. The trial is anticipated to feature testimony from approximately 12 witnesses, including 5 expected to be called by the defense. The final evidence disclosures and rulings on evidentiary points are scheduled to be addressed at the next hearing, which is set for September 19th. The allegations stem from an incident in January 2024 involving a young woman who reported the incident on January 11th. Ellington was formally charged on March 8, 2024 with a single count of rape. The initial reports suggested accusations from 2 women. However, the DPP later clarified that the evidence supporting only one charge. Working towards its mandate to modernize public transportation infrastructure, the Ministry of Transport is currently carrying out much-needed renovations at the Belize City and Belmopan bus terminals. The works are part of national effort to improve transit hubs across the country.
I've encountered many things I'm not happy with, things that I believe need to change. And so I am grateful that I'm getting the full support of my minister, getting the support of the Ministry of Finance, in particular the FinSec, in making sure that we can allocate the funds to be able to do the improvement that needs to be done. Again, you look at when the bus came in and unload passengers, the passengers who are waiting for the bus, you can see these passengers have to get up and rush. You know why? Because none of them have a ticket. So they have to rush to see who can get on the bus first. That is not healthy. We need to have a proper system with tickets where passengers don't have to be rushing to get into the bus so that they can get a seat. Putting in place a proper ticketing system is going to alleviate that. and make sure that every passenger who rides the bus have an assigned seat that they can sit on. So these are things that we must change if we want to make our bus industry one that we can be proud of.
Looking ahead, Transport CEO Chester Williams says the plan is to construct brand new terminals in Orange Walk and San Ignacio. The projects are expected to feature modern designs, dedicated bus bays, digital schedule boards, and integrated safety features.
Yes, we are starting with Belize City and Belmopan. I think at this time the Belmopan proposal is even more costlier than the Belize City one. Because we have already put together the costing for the pavement of the entire compound in Belmopan. That has gone to the Ministry of Finance for approval. I'm hoping that within the next week or two we should be getting approval for that, and then the work there should commence. And Belmopan terminal will also be getting the same type of chairs that we're getting here and the TV. So we're looking at Belmopan Belize City first, and then we'll look moving to the other areas. Yes, areas like Orange Walk. I have gotten proposals from a particular group of persons who are willing to come together and build a terminal for Orange Walk, a state-of-the-art terminal. So myself and Minister are in discussion to see how we can move ahead with that, because we do understand that Orange Walk do need a terminal. San Ignacio, likewise, as a part of the National Bus Company, we're looking at constructing terminals in San Ignacio and Benque, because those two areas do not have any. The structural integrity of the terminal in Corozal is not too bad. It's just a piece that was added on to the back for bathroom that is falling apart. So I believe that with good engineering, we should be able to save that from continuing to give way. And once that is done, then we can look at what we can do to enhance the building itself in terms of cosmetics, making it much more friendlier, user-friendlier for the passengers.
In the cases of Orange Walk Town, the bus terminal will be constructed at a new location.
Certainly in Orange Walk, yes, the terminal will be built at a different location. San Ignacio, we don't have a land as yet because they're currently using the Welcome Center. That is not a terminal area, so we have to find a land for San Ignacio to be able to construct a terminal there.
The ministry says consultations with key stakeholders will continue as work progresses across the country, ensuring that each new terminal meets the specific needs of the community it serves. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Francis Fonseca, represented Belize at the 55th regular session of the Organization of American States, OAS, General Assembly in St. John's, Antigua and Barbuda last week. Fonseca delivered a strong call for urgent, coordinated action to address some of the most pressing crises facing the hemisphere. Minister Fonseca warned that Latin America and the Caribbean will continue to struggle with extreme poverty, inequality, food insecurity, and high rates of violence. In some countries, it is estimated that violence costs as much as 8% of GDP. He stated, the human and economic toll is staggering. Fonseca said that tackling these issues would require coordinated hemispheric action. Root causes such as poverty, the illegal arms trade, and transitional organized crime must be tackled collectively, he said. He drew particular attention to the gun crisis in the Caribbean, pointing out that CARICOM has declared a war on guns in response to the flood of illegal firearms in the region. Nowhere are the devastating effects of illegal arms trafficking more tragically evident than in Haiti. Fonseca said, expressing Belize's full support for Haitian-led efforts to restore constitutional order. Words of concern must be followed by concrete, sustained action, he urged. Migration was another key focus of Fonseca's address. He pointed out that Belize, like many small states, is both a transit and destination country. While every state has the sovereign right to protect its borders, we must approach this challenge with compassion, solidarity, and in accordance with international law, he said. Desperation must not be criminalized. Instead, we must humanize our policies and stand with the most vulnerable. Fonseca also addressed climate change, calling it an existential threat to small islands and coastal states. Climate-related disasters are increasing in frequency and intensity, undermining productivity, food and water security, and public health, and is placing unprecedented strain on our fiscal space, he warned. He noted that Caribbean countries are already leading in clean energy adoption. Our region exceeds the global average in the adoption of clean energy and produces over 1/3 of the world's lithium, which is vital to a sustainable energy, Fonseca said. He encouraged stronger hemispheric collaboration leading up to COP30 and emphasized the importance of advancing the adaptation and loss and damage agenda. Addressing the need for stronger regional integration, Fonseca called for the removal of trade barriers and increased intra-regional trade. Greater regional integration will reduce our vulnerability to external shocks and contribute to sustainable economic growth, he stated. Fonseca also touched on global conflicts, reiterating Belize's call for diplomacy and peace. We believe that peoples of all states deserve to live in peace, security, dignity, and freedom, he said. He also warned of growing threats across the hemisphere. We have seen attempts to erode democratic institutions, silence independent media, and restrict civil society, Fonseca said. Belize stands resolutely in defense of democratic governance, the rule of law, and transparency. He also touched on the OAS's crucial role in supporting peace between Belize and Guatemala through the OAS office in the agency zone. Belize expresses its deep appreciation not only to the OAS, but also to the supporting permanent observers, in particular, the Kingdom of Spain, the Republic of Italy, and the European Union, Fonseca said. Their contributions have been instrumental in maintaining stability on the ground. Just days after resuming his role as chairman of the United Democratic Party, the UDP, Michael Perefit is reportedly grappling with internal dissent, threatening to undermine the party's recent leadership changes. Sources close to the party revealed that friction has surfaced from the camp of Tracy Panton, particularly concerning the conditions surrounding her reinstatement. An internal message sheds light on Perefit's frustrations, indicating a breakdown in what he believed was a previously negotiated agreement among key party figures. In the correspondence, Perefit addressed Panton directly, stating, "I came back as chairman on the assurance that you, Shine, Hugo, and Alberto had agreed on a path forward." He emphasized that the other leaders, Hugo, Shine, and Alberto, were upset because they thought a deal was in place to help resolve ongoing conflicts within the party, with each making significant personal concessions. The former chairman, who had resigned from his post prior to his recent return, expressed disappointment that the situation remains unresolved. "We are at crossroads again, and it seems that I have unresigned only to come back to a situation that is exactly what I didn't want to return to," he lamented. The discord comes amid heightened expectations that Panton, who was expelled from the party and later challenged that expulsion through a high court ruling, would be automatically reinstated. However, Perefit clarified that any reinstatement must be decided through official channels, specifically by a formal vote of the party's National Party Council. When asked about Perefit's return last week, Panton indicated her support for an inclusive approach. "I support a genuine attempt to bring all relevant parties to the table so we can discuss and come up with a consensual position on a way forward for the United Democratic Party," she said. "Whatever the configuration is to help us to move past this impasse, I support." The UDP is scheduled to convene a meeting this Wednesday to address the internal disagreements and determine the next steps in the ongoing reconciliation process. There is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Electricity is evolving, and BEL is leading the way with smarter connections across Belize. Meet AMI, Advanced Metering Infrastructure. It's not just a meter, it's a smarter way to manage power. Smart meters record your energy use in real time and securely send the data to BEL. Key customer benefits include real-time insights into energy usage, improved home energy planning, integration of solar, battery, and EV technologies, and innovative customer service solutions. Get ready! AMI is coming soon to municipalities across Belize, including the Keys, to give you more control and reliability. BEL, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
The total span of the entire structure is approximately 25 meters, and it also has an overall width of 12.5 meters, which includes 2 lanes and also 2 pedestrian footpaths of 2 meters each. The design span for this bridge is basically 75 to 100 years, so that's the expectation of its life.
It's $2.4 million to complete the bridge, and we also did the boat ramp. We had to incur a little bit additional expense because we did the pontoon to be able to allow the residents to be able to cross while we are building. Infrastructure is one of the key elements for economic development. It allows people to generate more income. It does so many things. It will open the whole area for free flow of traffic. It gives you safety, and we're allowing, because of the height of the bridge, we're allowing now traffic of boats underneath. It will enhance the tourism product. It betters the quality of life of the neighborhood. And that's what we want to do. We are here to serve the people, and these projects is a symbol of that.
I wish to announce the renaming of the new bridge, not in a spirit of resentment towards our colonial history, but to honor an individual who truly reflected the country's identity, aspirations, and progress.
It's good, I would say good, and people will be happy to see a new bridge.
I'm very, very elated that this bridge has finally been realized for the people of today. It will change a lot. We'll move better, we'll move faster, and some people might even stop and take pictures because they're a pretty bridge, they're a nice bridge. I like the bridge.
From the minute I heard about it, something that I personally wanted done, this is a welcome news for Punta Gorda.
Today, the Office of the Special Envoy for the Development of Families and Children was pleased to donate 16 Chromebooks to Restore Belize. This donation will directly benefit the students of the I Am Belize scholarship program, particularly during study hall sessions, which serve as a safe and supportive space for academic review and enrichment. The Chromebooks will be used to introduce information technology to new scholarship recipients, further supporting their academic development. A special envoy for the development of families and children, remain committed to strengthening access to education and supporting initiatives that empower our youth to reach their full potential. We are proud to stand alongside Restore Belize in investing in the future of our nation's young people. The highly anticipated 2025-2026 lobster season officially opened today, marking the start of a key period for Belize's fishing industry. The Belize Fisheries Department extended well wishes to all fishers, encouraging a safe and successful harvest to the Caribbean spiny lobster. In its announcement, the department also reminded the public and fishers to strictly follow lobster fishery regulations to protect the sustainability of the species. Key regulations include a minimum carapace length of 3 inches, a minimum tail weight of 4 ounces, a ban on the possession of soft-shell lobsters or egg-bearing females. It is illegal to remove eggs or spawn from any female lobster, and possession of filleted or diced lobster tail is strictly prohibited. The public is urged to report any illegal fishing activities by calling 224-4552 or emailing fisheries_department@fisheries.gov.bz. The Ministry of Investment, through its Investment Policies and Compliance Unit, IPCU, in collaboration with the Taiwan Technical Mission, the Ministry of Human Development, Family Support, and Gender Affairs, the Punta Gorda Town Council, and the Toledo Community College launched a training titled Cell Phone Repair Training for Women in Belize. This initiative aims to create self-employment opportunities for participants by equipping them with technical skills in the cleaning, upkeep, maintenance, and repair of cell phone devices. The training responds to a national shortage of skilled technicians and the lack of cell phone repair services in various parts of the country, particularly in southern Belize, where no formal training courses currently exist. The Ministry of Investment aims to diversify export-led economic activity in the Toledo district by enhancing skills and the entrepreneurial spirit of the citizens, especially in growth sectors such as the orange economy. Present at the opening of the training were Honorable Thea Garcia Ramirez, Minister of Human Development, Family Support, and Gender Affairs, His Worship Carlos Galvez, Mayor of Punta Gorda Town Council Andrew Su, Chief of the Taiwan Technical Mission in Belize France Smith, Investment Policy Officers in the Investment Policy and Compliance Unit Indira Usher, Foreign Service Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Cultural and Immigration Abisur Quintal, Instructor and owner of Jarvis Fixed, and Shauna Sanchez, Principal of the Toledo Community College. In 2024, IPCU, alongside the National Women's Commission, introduced a pilot cell phone repair training program for women in the Corozal and Orange Walk districts. The program successfully empowered participants to earn additional income from home by offering repair services for mobile phones, devices widely used by content creators in the orange economy. Building on this success, the ministry secured funding from the Taiwan Technical Mission to expand the initiative with the Toledo district as the first beneficiary. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, July 2nd, here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the website of the news, you can visit our website at www.ctv3news.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3 Belize News, or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening, and have a pleasant night.